Hi, I'm Sandrine. Today I'm going to share a little bit about me. I came to the US as a refugee 17 years ago. So there are all of these numbers are 17. So on the 17th of 2000, I came with my family, my mom and 6 children. And today it's our 17th anniversary. And so it's on the 17th, 2017, 17 years ago. And also it's been 17 years that I've lived in the US and exactly 17 years that I lived in Africa. It's such a special day for me and my family, and that every time I feel like it was a birthday gift, because when we arrived to America, 2 days later I turned 17. And so it's just been an amazing adventure, really trusting God to restore what the enemy stole. I have a story that I really wanted to tie up with my story and share with you. It's a story when we came actually to America. We arrived in New York. We were directed by the INS. We came, and so they directed us. We didn't need anyone. We didn't need English, because they showed us where to go, our gate and everything. Well, after we flew from New York, we went to Dallas. So in Dallas, here we arrived, fresh meat, no English whatsoever, and we had to find our way to Baton Rouge. We've never been in Dallas. We've never been in the US. And so when we saw another family who had the bag, a refugee bag, and they said that they were going to Louisiana, Baton Rouge, so we were like, you know what? They speak English. We're going to follow them. They spoke English, so we just followed them. Well, they didn't want us to follow them, so they took us into a Concorde, and somehow they left. And so we stayed in there thinking they're still in the Concorde, and for hours and hours we drove around the Concorde and realized that the family we had followed had left. And we realized, okay, this is not the right way. So we got out and finally decided to gather up all the English we knew, which was at 0. And we just pointed to them the tickets, our tickets, and saying like our boarding pass, like where do we need to go? We're like, no English. And the person directed us to McDonald's and just pointed to McDonald's. Luckily, we had watched the movie Coming to America, which fits so well with my story, and it came to the rescue. And so we knew, okay, he's telling us to go get something to eat. So we went, and as we arrived, they gave us double our meal. So it was 9 of us, and they gave us 18. And we're thinking, why do we have double? And we didn't want to be thieves, we were just our first day in the US. We don't want to steal. So we were like, no, we're going to give it back because we don't want to take it. It's probably a mistake. Well, they kept giving it back to us, and then we just realized, we're just going to take it. And we took it with us. Everybody had double portion. And that story, I want to bring it to you just as you've gone through a season where you realize like you faced a lot of hurt, a lot of brokenness, a lot of rejection, a lot of abandonment, and a lot of abuse, especially in the church. Some of us, you've experienced a lot of church abuse, and you've wondered, God, where are you? Why you allowed this? I just want you to know that God does not allow pain. He does not allow, He does not bring suffering upon us. He does not bring death and destruction upon our lives. The Bible says in John 10:10 that Satan came to steal, kill, and destroy, but Jesus came to have life, have it abundantly. Like us, for 17 years of my life, or let's say 16 years of my life, because 6 months we spent it in Benin, in another country in Africa still. For 17 years of my life, it seemed like God had abandoned me. It seemed like God purposely took my father, he died, and took us to war. We were rejected. We were not wanted. That all my life I grew up in this country. I was born in this country, and suddenly I was not wanted. And there are reasons for that. And maybe if you are interested in knowing more of the story, I can share it with you another time because it's a long story. But to make it short, I was not wanted, and my life was in danger if I remained in the Congo. I just asked God, you created me. If my life had purpose, how can it be like this? How can I not be wanted? But I have learned, just like that voucher that we had double vouchers. So many times We go through challenges and people don't want us, but God always makes a way. He's provided a way. You might be wanting to be married and you're wondering why, God. You might have a lot of why questions and no answer. I want you to trust God. He has given us the word. He's given us the manual, the map, His word, just like we were giving the vouchers. But until we go and redeem it, until we read it, until we know what is ours, then we cannot go and redeem it. And another thing that we realized, that if we hadn't asked the person who was at the gate working, maybe it was a flight attendant or someone checking the tickets, if we had asked him, we would have gotten lost and never found our way to Baton Rouge. But also we would have not had food. And it was 2 days. We traveled, we left Africa on the 16th and we landed in America on the 17th. We were supposed to make it in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 8 p.m. Well, we didn't arrive until like 1 a.m. in the morning. And so just to let you know and encourage you that God has given us a manual, and that He's not the author of pain. He's not the source of our suffering, and He does not cause those things. But if we trust Him and walk with Him and put our lives into His hands and forgive those who have hurt us and really apply His word, I am telling you, everything that was stolen will be 100% redeemed. I hope this encouraged you, and you know a little bit about me. I am a refugee. I've been adopted to this country called America, home of freedom, land of the brave. I probably said it wrong, but I am so blessed. America's been a place of redemption for me. Till next time, keep thriving and take on the Word of God, because it gives life and it gives it in full, overflowing. It brings heaven on earth.